Welcome back to the Gibson Girl inspired makeup and hair video. In part 1 we covered more of the makeup, and now in part 2 we're going to go straight into the rest of the hair tutorial and show you the finished look. So you would have had very fashionable hair, Kate. Long hair was very fashionable in the Edwardian era, and sometimes it was also worn quite, just long and loose and sort of on the shoulders. It'd still be height, because it was all about height really as well, and women would often pad out their hair. But you can see what a difference just clipping those curls. Yeah, so you've got proper ringlets there. And I'm just going to give them just a little bit of a spritz of hairspray as well, just to make sure they stay. And I'm just scrunching them upwards like this, just so they retain all of their bounce and volume. Now, as fun as it would be to leave these ringlets in, I'm actually going to brush them out, which seems a bit sad really, but that's what we need for that lovely wave. So, just going to carefully brush these out and smooth over every section as well. But yes, blonde hair was not very fashionable in the Edwardian era. So quite often women would use henna to get lovely copper shades, and sulphate of iron was also used to darken the hair. So just pulling the brush through and just kind of teasing it back into a bit of a curl. So once we've done that, I'm just going to clip these front sections out the way again. Lovely. Right. So we just start with the back of the hair now and just get a nice high bun, essentially. So what we're going to do is take a hairband, nice thick hairband. I'm going to put a bobby pin on one side and another one on the other side, and you get a nice bungee cord there. You can buy specially made versions of these, but to be honest, it's exactly the same thing, it's cheaper. So it's absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do is just pull the hair up into a fairly high bun. And then grab your hairband and your bobby pin, so you just open that up slightly, put your pin in there, hold it, wrap it around as many times as possible, and then put the pin in again. So you get a nice tight ponytail. So I'm just going to clip that now slightly out of the way, and I'm just going to pull some of the hair at the bottom here, just to create a little bit more fullness. Not much though, I mean you don't want to pull it all out and do all that hard work. So then you just want to take sections of the hair, and this is where it's handy to have that little bit of curl in the end. Just take a little bit of hairspray, drag it through, and then starting at the bottom of the curl, just sort of roll it towards, it doesn't matter which way you do this, and then pin around the base of the hairband, and just repeat this. Bit of hairspray, and then take sort of curl there, fold that round and curl, and then twist and pin. So these are barrel curls, so they're kind of standing up from the scalp. Do that so you've got a lot of volume there. Big hair was definitely very fashionable in the Edwardian era. And quite often women would pad out their hair with pads made with human hair, and they were called rats. Doesn't sound very appealing, but that's what they were called. And you just tease out each curl ever so slightly, just to give it a bit more volume. And just continue to do this until this whole back section is done. So yeah, I'm just going over this, pulling those curls a little bit loose again, just to get as much volume as possible. Just make sure you don't pull them all out, but of course you can always repin. But don't be shy with this, because you want as much volume as possible. Okay, once you're happy with that, just spray it again. Now that the back is done, you can just unclip these front sections. You've already got that lovely romantic curl going on. And that's the thing with Edwardian hair, is just to keep it lovely and soft and romantic. So with these front sections now, I am going to section it again in half. And then just clip these new front bits out the way. Lovely. So what I've done, instead of using hair rats or any other padding that might be a little bit hard to find, you can use something like that, but you know, they are a little bit harder to find. So I've just got some donuts, hair donuts. You can get these anywhere, and what I'm going to do is just snip it. Just cut it like so, and then you've got your padding there. And you don't have to use, you know, I mean, hair rats would have been made from human hair, but you don't have to use anything like that. You can get these hair donuts pretty much anywhere, and they're nice and cheap as well. So basically just do the job. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to position that on one side around the bun and just pin that in. Is that comfortable?
Yes, it is.
Good. And then I've got another one here. So just make sure that's well secured. There we go. Does that feel all right?
It does, yeah.
Lovely. So then in sections, again with the sections, I'm just going to back comb. So what we want to do is get a section of hair and hairspray just halfway. Again, run it through, and then take your comb and just back comb gently. And this part of the hair doesn't have to be particularly neat, because you're going to cover it, essentially you're going to cover it with these front bits. They're the pretty bits there. But I'm just going to curl that, just comb it over ever so slightly. And we just want to cover this section here. And then once you've got that bit covered, just going to pin that to the base there, and then use this curl, do the same thing, just back comb slightly, just tease it out, and then we can use it. Again, if your hair is long enough for this, if not, don't worry. Just spread the hair out as much as possible. This bit does not need to be neat at all. But yeah, if you don't have enough hair for this, you can use hair extensions. Just make sure, obviously, you can't see the clips. You can just clip them in just underneath the padding there, and then just do the same thing. You know, same thing I'm doing here then. So that's one side covered. Just going to give that a quick spray, of course. Make sure that doesn't move. Again, it's not very neat, it's not meant to be. And I'm just going to repeat the same on this side. So, with these front sections, come around. Again, you want back combing. So you're lifting the hair away from the hairline.
It's thicker.
Like that, yeah, exactly. And then we're going to incorporate these lovely curls as well. So I think we want a nice kind of wave coming from this side and curling round. So it'll kind of sweep around, and then you've got a bit of curl definition. So I've got more of an idea of what I'm doing now. Different with every face, and you can decide if you do it to your own hair. You can look in the mirror and just see which side does this, does the hair look best on coming over. It's really just where your hair parts as well. All these things you've got to take into consideration. So again, just lightly teasing the hair. So since I'm going to start the hair waving from Kate's left side, I'm going to start with this side of the hair first. Sort of lift the hair up and just brush it ever so slightly on the underside. And as I pull it up, I'm just twisting it slightly there. And I'm just going to pin that there. So you get sort of a two-tiered hair effect. This is where one of these combs with the metal handle, these tail combs, will be really helpful for you. They just sort of help you get in and tease the hair. And brush the underside of it again, just sort of lift it up. So I'm just kind of tucking it in a little bit and rolling it. Yeah. So this front section is really where you can have the most fun, you can really play with the hair and sort of pull it about here and there and see where it's going to go. And they had all sorts of different kind of sections going on at the front. If you look at a lot of Edwardian hairstyles, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be all one kind of continuous roll. I mean, women did have that style, they wore that frequently, but if you look closely at quite a lot of them, you can see where they kind of rolled the different sections of hair. So with these little bits here, left out, you've got that kind of curl there. So just encourage it to go back into more of a curl and then just tease it again with your comb. And you can kind of play with these bits now and get more of a curl over this section that we created before with the hair padding. And just pin those out of the way again. I think I'm going to incorporate this curl actually into the front section here, just to give it a bit more of a wave. And I'm just lifting up that bit of hair there at the front when I'm spraying it, just so, again, it's all about the root lift. And just make sure you tuck up any ends of hair as well, so you don't see any bits of hair coming out. And again, just going in and just sort of pulling out these curls again. Because they're not going to come out now, they've got all of this around, sort of a bit of a security blanket almost. And just give them a spray. And then I think we're there.